Hello, Sandman Nation. Well, we have had some technical difficulties the last two podcasts, but not today. Wi-Fi is working, everybody's home, Pat is looking handsome as always, and we are ready to rock and roll. We are also ready to enter Sandman Sports, so let's get into it. Speaking of Pat, he is one of the best freaking podcast hosts you could ever ask for, and with him is the one and only Bill Sanders, the Sandman, and I cannot say anything bad about them today or make any jokes at their expense because I'm going to be stuck with these guys all freaking weekend long, and unfortunately, I cannot sleep with one eye open. In all seriousness, though, I cannot wait for this weekend, guys. Not only are you two coming to the Queen City, but we also have the Nailed It winner, longtime CMN Nation guy Mike Paston coming in to join us. We got a Reds game, a Kentucky Derby party, an incredible steak dinner at a fancy restaurant, lots of bourbon, wine, and of course, yes, and Skyline Chili. So I hope you're ready for all that. So anything special you guys want to see or do while you're in Cincy? Any specific types of mints you want on your pillows, Pat?
Andes. I prefer Andes mints.
That's all
you
I
like
can think
Andes mints? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
No, just can't wait.
All right. Well, it's gonna be a fun weekend, man. We're gonna start the drinking early. I think Friday afternoon. Pat comes rolling in. Hour and a half later, Mike Paston comes in. So then we hit the Reds game. So. It is the weather's looking a little choppy right now, but we'll see. We'll keep our fingers crossed.
I don't think the heavy stuff's going to come down for quite a while.
Exactly. Before we get into it, let's tell everyone where our listeners can find us. You can find us everywhere, even in the fifth round of the NFL draft, just like Shedeur Sanders. You know one thing that doesn't drop down draft boards? That's our incredible frickin' website. Enter sandmansports.com. Be sure to check us out daily. We drop new content all the time. Articles, videos, much more. This week alone, we've added coverage on the NBA, Major League Baseball, Beerman's Six Packs, Sandman's Golf Crushing Fades are back. We got Formula One Racing, these podcasts. And I'm very excited to announce one of our writers, Tyler Hedman, just published a super thorough, robust draft grades and analysis of every single NFL team and how they fared. Super comprehensive stuff. So if you want to know how he graded out your team, check it out at entersandmansports.com. You can also follow us at many other places, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, all at Enter Sandman Sports. One other quick reminder, guys, too, especially as college semesters wrap up, final exams are near, we continue to look for talented contributors to the Sandman team. We have paid opportunities available. So maybe you know a college journalism student or just someone who knows sports, has opinions, likes to write as a hobby. Either way, if you know someone who might be interested in making some money, getting some experience, getting a byline, working with some awesome people, please send them our way. You can email us at info@entersandmansports.com if anyone is interested. All right, guys. Let's get into the opening. So I mentioned earlier that you guys and Mike will be coming to Cincy this weekend for the Nailed It weekend. Well, this past weekend, I actually visited Bill and our other business partner, Craig, out in Seattle. We had just an awesome time there. Great weekend. We worked hard, but we also played hard too. I wrote about some of the fun things we did in this week's Six Pack, so I won't go into all that, but I will say my wife and daughter also came, and they got to see a lot of the cool tourist attractions out there, such as Pike Place Market, Space Needle, and the very first Starbucks store. So it got me thinking. We're going to talk a little bit about tourist attractions, guys. What are some of the best and worst tourist attractions you have ever been to? So there are basically four things I want to hear from each of you guys. So a few favorite tourist attractions that you visited, why they lived up to the hype, things, ones you just thought were cool. Any attractions that you thought were overrated or disappointed you. Any major tourist attractions you'd love to visit someday but haven't been to yet. And any famous attractions that you think are overrated and would have absolutely no interest in ever going to see. All right, Pat, you got it? Are we ready?
I think so. In no particular order. I'm just going to ramble on about. I'm not a fan of Mount Rushmore, If you've ever been to Mount Rushmore, it's not worth the hassle. It's
okay.
Yeah, I've
been
there.
You've been there and it's not good. Okay.
It's not that good.
Okay.
It's a little bit of a drive, and you get there and it's underwhelming. It's not as big as you think it is. It's actually smaller than you think. So yeah, I would say that's one I would avoid. But I mean, I only got a couple. When I was in Spain, I visited El Escorial, which is, and the Prado Museum, both awesome museums, incredible works of art. Yet, I mean, even El Escorial is just it's an amazing building. But I would also not recommend the Guggenheim Museum in Bilbao. It's a museum of modern art. It's where they'd like put a canvas on the wall with a line going through it and be like, there you go. There's your art. So the building, building itself, that's in Bilbao, Spain. But the Prado and El Escorial, those are pretty cool. Those are in Spain, in Madrid. But yeah, I would just say, for me, my wife hates museums. So like give you an idea, we were in Italy in 2014 and we went to the Uffizi, which is in Florence. And her and her sister, they were speed walking through the place. And I like to sit, and I could sit and look at a painting for at least 3-4 minutes. Whereas they're like, oh yeah, cool. All right, let's keep going. So that's kind of difficult thing. I know not to take my wife ever to a museum again. But I would say the places I would like to see would be Seattle's Pike's Place Fish Market, which thanks for the invite last weekend, guys. And the Eiffel and the Eiffel Tower. The Eiffel Tower would be one I want to see. But I haven't seen a ton of tourist attractions, just the museums of Spain, and I highly recommend them if you like art museums.
What about, isn't there like Paul Bunyan's axe or something is that by you, or is that Wisconsin or something? There's some like cheesy. No, okay. All right.
What's the thing on the way to Brainerd?
Yeah, that's where
the bowling alley is. There's a bowling alley, and I thought there was a big Paul Bunyan up there.
That's exactly what I'm talking about, Bill.
On the way to Swarties.
I don't know if that qualifies as a tourist attraction. I mean, there's a big walleye.
It's not a very good one, but it is a tourist attraction.
Yeah, besides the Mall of America, what would you tell visitors to Minneapolis? Like, you guys have to go see this.
I mean, we have beautiful outdoors. I mean, everywhere we got lakes and rivers and bluffs, and I mean, Minnesota's a very stunning landscape, but I don't think there's really anything that you have to visit.
Yeah.
As far as like monuments or tourist attractions, it's Duluth is kind of a cool town, but then again, we're trying to stay away from just cities, right? I mean, we want actual places. So I don't know.
What about the curling center in Chaska? Would that make a list? Where Paul Hammernowski will do his handiwork.
It's Todd Hammernowski.
Oh, Todd. Right. Oh, sorry, I blew it.
Todd Hammernowski, America's only hope.
Oh.
No, the curling center is cool. It's definitely cool. But yeah, we don't really have much here. So what about you?
Yeah, I mean, beautiful lakes and everything else. Yeah, I mean, I have a ton of stuff. I mean, I'll just kind of rattle through mine. Yeah, and Bierman, I'm probably cheating here, but one of the coolest things that I've ever done is Alcatraz. I don't know if you guys have ever had a chance, but it's one of those ones where you have to get reservations now well in advance. You take a little ferry boat out to the island, then you have the guided tour through it. So cool. That thing completely delivered.
Dude, I'm going to just tell you, that was number one on my favorite list. Seriously.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean,
I love it.
It was so easy for me to just like rattle through some of these. Yeah. Pearl Harbor, incredible. Pearl Harbor is absolutely incredible, worth every second. I think I mentioned this on a pod, but my dad and I were fortunate enough to go when they actually had living veterans that were docents there, and they did this speech. I mean, I just felt like, wow, this is a slice of history. And this guy, I can't remember how old he was at the time, in his 90s, late 90s, I want to say. But anyway, it was just the coolest thing, and amazing exhibits. Obviously, you've got the Arizona, you've got the Missouri, you've got this sub. It's just so cool. Yosemite National Park, El Capitan. one of the most awe-inspiring things I've ever witnessed in person. Can't believe that Alex Honnold, who I've mentioned lots in this podcast, but I can't believe that dude
We
did
can't go 5
that. Yeah,
episodes
there it is.
without
I
an
know, there
Alex
it is. No, come
Honnold.
on. I haven't mentioned Honnold in a
I
long
know.
time.
It's been a while. It's actually been a while.
But Yosemite was just absolutely unbelievably natural beauty, just unbelievable. And then just rattling off a few of the other ones. I thought Statue of Liberty in Ellis Island, so cool, like so amazing. I don't know if you can still climb up it, but when we were there, we went up.
Yeah, I was able to go up all the way to the top.
Yeah,
at
yeah,
one point,
and look
but
through
I haven't
her
been
kind
back.
of.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was
yeah,
years and years ago. I haven't been
yeah.
back in a while. That one I would not say would made my favorites list.
Yeah,
but
I just thought it was cool. I don't know why.
yeah,
I just thought that
yeah,
was so cool. Pat mentioned the Eiffel Tower, incredible. I
yeah,
would say
yeah.
totally delivers. We went and they had the amazing lights at night, and it is long lines and everything, but definitely worth it. The Freedom Trail in Boston. I don't know if you guys have done that, but it's got a line throughout the city, and you walk by like where Paul Revere lived, and and just all of the Boston Tea Party and all of the just amazing sites of the Revolutionary War and Boston. Super cool. So worth it. The Palace of Versailles is mind blowing. So cool.
That's
The
an interesting one.
gardens,
Yeah.
the gardens, the grotto, the palace itself. Marcy and I took a train out there from Paris. It's just an otherworldly how beautiful and landscape this property is, and it's massive. And to think that these guys were out there with these John Deere like monster arms shaving the hedges perfectly. They used to do all this stuff by hand. I mean, it's just absolutely incredible. And the last few for me, Tower of London, the Crown Jewels, very cool tour. That was awesome in London. Mont Saint Michel in France, in northern France. It's in the Normandy region. So we did the D-Day beaches, which were unreal, and the cemetery that you probably have seen in Saving Private Ryan if you haven't been there, but just incredible. And then Mont Saint Michel is this abbey built on an island, and the tide comes in and out, and so it becomes an island, or you actually have a little bit more of a causeway to get out there. But these guys built this with no heavy machinery. I mean, it's incredible. So disappointing ones for me: Mona Lisa at the Louvre.
Really?
I mean, it's this big. It's this big. It's like, I don't know. There were 7 million people in front of it.
Okay.
I don't know. Times Square, lame.
Yeah.
Empire State Building, just lines forever, and then you get up to the observation deck and you're looking through these metal like gates.
That's a good one. Yeah,
kind of sucks. And then the last one for me is Road to Hana. Have you guys ever been on Maui?
No.
So lame. It sucks. It's just like the windiest road to nowhere. And everyone's in their car just weaving through this thing. Oh, there's waterfalls. It's like, yeah, we have those in Seattle everywhere. Anyway, I don't know. It's just super lame. Mount Rushmore was on my list of don't bothers. Everybody I've ever talked to said it's overrated. And the last three that I'd love to see, I'd love to go to Gettysburg. I'd love to get a guided tour at Gettysburg. Washington,
I've been
D.C.
there. Yeah.
Never been to Washington, D.C. Like, I got to get there, see them all. And the last one I thought would be pretty cool would to be at Mount Everest Base Camp. I think Mount Everest Base Camp would just be incredible. So, gosh, I know that was a really long list.
No, there's a lot. I mean, there's so many good ones. No, that's awesome, man.
It's a good list.
Yeah, so Alcatraz and Pearl Harbor are two on my list. I mean, Pearl Harbor, it is so tough, but I would strongly I actually believe every person in the United States should be required to go see Pearl Harbor once in their lifetime. It was just an incredible experience. So glad I got to experience that. Alcatraz is just so cool. I'm a big history guy, but that like mixes like history and kind of some creepiness and some depressing stuff.
Folklore.
But it's folklore, movies. But it is pretty. I mean, you're out there, you get to see the whole city. I mean, it's such a unique location. Honestly, I put Mall of America on my list.
Oh,
and it's funny because I'm not a huge shopper. I'm not a big mall guy. There is something about the Mall of America. It's just so huge. I mean, there's so many things to see. It's sheer in size. It's just amazing to see. And every time I've been there like at least 3 times. I've just really enjoyed it every time. So I had to put that on there. The Grand Canyon is one of my all-time favorites. Just so awe-inspiring. Got to take the mules down there, and it's a little, little scary taking those mules on those switchbacks. But and then I also had the 17-mile drive between Carmel and Monterey.
Oh, great
and you got
one.
Pebble Beach in there. I mean, just a beautiful drive. And I added one near us that not a ton of people probably are aware of, but Mammoth Cave down in Kentucky, just a huge underground cave, miles and miles of cave stalactites everywhere. So it's pretty cool. Some overrated ones. I actually put Old Faithful in Yellowstone.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it spouts water, every 59 minutes or whatever. Okay, cool.
Stinks.
I mean, yeah. Hollywood Walk of Fame. Such a gross part of town, drug addicts everywhere. I mean, you just see names on the sidewalk. I mean, it's no thanks. Niagara Falls, it's awesome for about 10 minutes, and that's the same thing my college girlfriend used to say. The Alamo, I love the history, but there's just not a ton to see there. I mean, it's small. You're done in about 30 minutes. But I will say San Antonio Riverwalk is pretty cool, which is close. And sorry to our St. Louis Syndicate guys, but Gateway Arch, there's not much there. Kind of a big yawn to me. Some that I haven't been to. I have not been a big international traveler, so I haven't been to a lot of the places you said. I actually put the Louvre on here, Bill. I would love to see the Mona Lisa.
The Louvre is cool. The Louvre is amazing, but just that part of it.
Yeah. I would love to see the Colosseum. I'm a history nut, so I think that would be neat. The Acropolis in Greece, same thing. Pyramids, same thing. And there's one, guys, I'm going to see if I can convince you guys. Maybe this weekend we get it done. The American Sign Museum in Cincinnati. My wife has refused to go with me. Can you believe she doesn't want to go to the American Sign Museum with me? So
is this
what kind of
signs and things like that?
It's all kinds of signs, Bill. It's freaking awesome signs. Neon signs, historical signs.
Yeah, the sign language museum.
It's captivating shit.
Yeah.
What?
If it's raining,
museum, the signs.
No, not the sign language museum. No.
If it's raining, then we need something to do.
I'm shocked. I'm shocked you guys haven't heard of it. Come on.
I have not.
A few that I have no interest in going. I really have no interest in going to the Great Wall of China. Just so big and kind of like meh. Yeah, I don't know. Graceland, I'm just not a huge Elvis guy. Mount Rushmore, similar to what you guys said. The Leaning Tower of Pisa just seems dumb to me. And Stonehenge, it's big rocks in the ground. I mean, that doesn't seem very riveting to me. So that's all I got, boys. All right. Well, that was fun. Man, that was good. There was a lot of good stuff there. We had big lists. I like it. All right. Well, let's get into the show. As always, we'll start with headlines for the past weekend, then our hot takes and reflections, our stone cold locks, which this week we'll keep golfing and head to Dallas for the Byron Nelson. Then we'll get into this week's top 5, which will be all about rookies. And of course, we'll have plenty of fun and shenanigans along the way. And Pat will make the case for Pauly Shore being the greatest actor of our generation. Cannot wait to get into that.
Yeah, buddy.
Hey, buddy.
Buddy.
That was good. Well played. All right, headlines, guys. Big news of the weekend was, of course, the NFL draft, where it is impossible to know who did well and who did poorly, despite all the rankings and grades. But it's still a lot of fun to watch as a fan and get excited about the future. I wrote about some of the interesting tidbits I saw from this year's draft in my most recent 6-pack, so feel free to check that out on our NRCMansports.com site. There weren't a ton of surprises in the top 5. Titans took Cam Ward, number 1. There was a big trade with Jacksonville, moving up from 5 to 2. And they snatched what could be a once-in-a-generation type talent in Travis Hunter. Penn State defensive end Abdul Carter went 3 to the Giants. Number 4, Patriots get some protection for Drake May and offensive tackle Will Campbell. And by the way, Bill correctly predicted those first 4 picks. And then he was off by 1 with his last pick, as he said Ashton Genty would go number 5, but he actually went 6. You were so close, dude. Very impressive. He went to the Raiders.
How'd I do with my Shedeur Sanders number 1?
Yeah, you were off by about 143?
43 picks.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah,
that's hilarious, dude. All right. Yeah, I mean, more big news from the draft was the free fall of Shedeur Sanders from a projected number 1 overall draft pick just months ago to the 5th round. Just
Crazy.
It's kind of an incredible thing to see.
Yeah.
There are a ton of different ratings out there, including our very own Tyler Hedman's. And for what it's worth, Tyler rated the Eagles and Steelers with the 2 best drafts and gave them an A+. And he rated the 49ers, Falcons, and my hometown Bengals as the worst this year, all in the D range. So who day my Bengals. Way to go, guys. But guys, are you interested in what he gave your teams? He gave the Seahawks Seahawks a B+.
Yeah.
And he gave the Vikings a C+.
That guy doesn't know anything.
What do you think of your Vikes?
I
you
don't
follow it at all this weekend?
I watched until the Vikes picked, and then I watched hockey. So a lot of hockey this week. It's hard for me to watch the draft that deep. I'll watch the first 10, 15 picks, and it's all predicting. It's all, you never know until they take the field.
Time will tell.
Time will tell.
Right.
But we only had 4 picks this year. We didn't.
Oh,
we didn't really do much.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, we traded away a lot of our picks.
Hard to grade them then.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
And they basically have a starting quarterback.
Exactly.
That they drafted, right? Because he didn't play last year, so.
Yep. All the fun positions are filled with all-stars. So it's just, we need some pieces like linemen, and that's what we got. So
yeah,
we'll see.
Like
time will tell. Yep.
Sticking with headlines in one of golf's cooler formats, Andrew Novak and Ben Griffin win the Zurich Classic by 1 stroke. Congratulations to them. That's always such a fun event. Baseball season continues, and there will be ups and downs all year in strange news stats and facts, but I think it's worth calling out a very interesting one from this past week. Eugenio Suarez of the Diamondbacks becomes the first player in Major League Baseball history to homer in 4 consecutive at-bats and have his team still lose the game. He just could not get any help from his teammates. That kind of sucks. But what a feat. 4 consecutive home runs. Wow. That should have helped somebody in the home run derby there, Bill.
Yeah, I don't know if anybody took him, but yeah, what a day. Those were bombs.
Yeah.
Did you? None of those were cheap.
No, none of them were. Yeah, no, they were good. In the NBA playoffs, the 2 number 1 seeds left nothing to chance by sweeping their respective series. So the Cavs and Thunder look destined to lock horns in the finals, but still many more games to be played. So we'll see. The NHL playoffs are also underway. The overall number 1 seed, the Winnipeg Jets, they're having a little bit of a tussle with the feisty Blues as that series is tied up 2-2. So yeah, we'll see what transpires there. And then one of the best and most iconic American sporting events of the year this weekend, we will see the 151st running of the Kentucky Derby. And guess what horse is at 6-1 odds right now with the 3rd best odds in the field? You guys ready for this? I know you already know this. Our listeners do not. It is a horse named Sandman.
Let's go.
You heard that right. I wonder who this pod's going to be rooting for. And we should see if we can get their owner on this pod after they win. Just think about the marketing.
Let's go.
There,
or buy the horse. Or buy the horse when it loses.
Mm-hmm. Or buy the horse.
That's right. Yeah, we'll claim it. We'll claim it after.
That's awesome, dude. Yeah. And I mean, it's not like it has a shot. It has a real shot at 6-1. So we'll be in a derby party together. I have a feeling we might put some money on that one.
Yeah, let's go.
Definitely.
All right, and finally, to wrap up this week's headlines, I thought I'd share some exciting news because we're going to start a new segment, guys, in the headlines where each episode we will cover all of the exciting soccer highlights from the previous week.
Boo. I know
okay,
what's coming.
Now that segment is over, let's get into hot takes, guys. Okay. Yes, that's right. It's time for Sandman Sports Hot Takes, brought to you by Mike's Hot Honey. The honey's so hot, the Colorado Buffaloes just retired its jersey. Want your jersey retired someday? Grab a bottle of Mike's Hot Honey at mikeshothoney.com. Oh, look at that. Man, You look good. Or go to the honey aisle at your local grocery store. Trust us, it brings the heat. Just like that hat on the top of Pat Klett's head. All right, Pat, start us off, sir. Hot take time.
Takes. All right. Well, a lot of hockey and basketball for me since we last talked. Great stuff. Games are awesome. A lot of these series. This is the best time for hockey and basketball. This is when you want to tune in. There's been some great games, and my hometown teams are involved with the Wild and the Timberwolves. So it's been a lot of fun to watch. Although Wild had a tough loss last night, but I think other than that, the draft, as I mentioned, I watched a little bit. I do think Sanders is going to be motivated now. He's going to have a little extra motivation now to prove people wrong, and I think he dropped a little too low. The golf I did not watch. There's just too much hockey and basketball, so I watched 0 of the Zurich, and likely will watch 0 of the Byron Nelson because there's not much of a field there. You got Scheffler, and
there's not much of a field,
and Spieth, and then it just falls off. So, but my main hot take this weekend is I don't know if you guys watch these hockey games at all, but to challenge a play in hockey, right, and get it wrong. If you're the coach and you want to challenge it and you get it wrong, it's a 2-minute penalty against your team. So in a sport where scoring seems, it's so little.
Wow. I didn't know that.
It just seems way too penal. So if anything, I think they should do like a 1 minute. Do 1 minute power play or something. But 2 minutes, that's just
no power
it happened. Yeah, or something. I mean, they have to penalize them somehow for doing a challenge.
1 or 2. Well, yeah.
Or you get 2 and you can take
1 or 2. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Dumb.
I mean, what do you got? Basketball. Yeah. What do you lose a timeout, right? And then
I don't
same
actually
with
know.
football.
Is that
right?
accurate?
Football is the same. You lose the timeout. Football, you lose the timeout for sure.
I don't know about NBA but yeah, you lose. Does hockey even have timeouts? By the way,
they do. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do they?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hockey has timeouts. Just lose your timeout. Yeah. That's a good point. Pat. But anyhow, I just feel
that's a great.
So it was the Kings. It was the Kings Edmonton, and the Kings were up 4-3, and Edmonton scored, but the Kings thought it wasn't a goal, so they challenged it. They lost the challenge, so now it's 4-4, and they're a man down, and then they lose 5-4. In a game which they dominated, for stretches of that game, it just is such a tough loss for them. So anyway, that's my thought.
Right. Just get it right.
Exactly. Yeah. Get the calls right. Don't make it up to the challenges, and then to have to be a man down for 2 minutes in hockey is really tough. When scoring's at a premium and 20, I think it's like 20% of goals are scored on the power play in the NHL, something like that, 20-some%. So yeah, it's too much of a gift if you get it wrong. But that's my hot take for the week. Bill, what do you got?
Yeah, for me, I mean, you mentioned Shedeur. Both of you guys mentioned Shedeur. Eric was in Seattle and we were working at the time of the draft, and I was kind of giving Craig and Eric a couple updates. I'm like, man, he still hasn't been drafted, and we're going into the 4th round, and Eric goes, no, the 5th round. And I'm like, oh my, yeah, 5th round. I mean, just incredible. You know what? That prank call was going to be my angle here for hot takes. You guys, I'm sure, heard this, that the defensive coordinator or some defensive coach for Atlanta, his son looks at the guy's paperwork, which has Shedeur's number on it. So he takes the number, and then with a phone, I think that was like like Atlanta Hawks phone, or whatever, so they could contact the guy. So Shedeur sees this number. It's just it's such poor class and poor form. And then I heard that the kid Abdul Carter also got a prank call in the draft. And I think he went 3rd, right? So it's just, what are people doing? Like, I mean, come on. This is like one of the biggest moments in these kids' lives. And then in Shedeur's case,
kids, go ahead. Young kids between the age of 17 and 24, Bill, they make bad decisions on a daily basis. I mean, kids are
Yeah.
stupid.
Oh, you're right.
So the real problem is just
Yeah.
the fact that they have access to these numbers. It should be only a few people that have access to the number, and these kids kids are stupid. But I heard today that the kid, I think the coach is going to get fined like $100,000 or something like that. The kid's
He
dad.
did, and the team $250,000.
Right.
I think.
If that was my kid, he wouldn't be able to sit down for a month. He would just get the worst ass whooping. $100,000 that you can't pay that back. You can't pay that back.
Yeah, what do you do if it was your kid? Exactly. That's what I was kind of going to pose to you
You're mowing the
guys
lawn
as part
for the
my
rest
hot
of your
take.
life. You're going to mow the lawn till you're dead.
I just felt, you know what? I actually end up, and this is how I typically am. I mean, I didn't want Shedeur Sanders to fall to the 5th round. I also didn't want him to be in the top 5 picks for whatever reason. I'm not a fan of his. If it was my team, I know I told both of you guys I did not want the Seahawks to draft him. So, but again, I'm not rooting against the guy, and just to see it slip to the 5th round was hard. But then this guy does this prank. Anyway, the whole thing, I wasn't a fan of it. The
was
Seahawks,
there ever a time where you wanted the Seahawks to take him though?
Well, I think I texted you and said maybe they'll jump and grab him here. And the Seahawks took Jalen Milroe from Alabama in the 3rd round, which everybody in Seattle is super excited about. But Shedeur Sanders is a far better passer than Jalen Milroe. Jalen Milroe is just an incredible athlete, and so it's going to be really interesting to see his development. But maybe I wouldn't have minded, I guess, 3rd, 4th, 5th round. But bottom line for me, I just really didn't want them to take him. The sideshow. What's crazy about Cleveland too is they had already taken Dylan Gabriel from Oregon. So now they've got 2 rookies.
Yeah.
Both of these guys feel like they've kind of been slighted. One of them's going to have no chance in Cleveland, right? I mean, they're not going to keep both of these young kids for the next 3-4 years, I wouldn't think. So I don't know. The whole thing just seems like a bad situation.
The Browns did such a Browns thing. They are the first team in history to draft 2 running backs and 2 quarterbacks in their first 5 rounds of picks.
Wow. Yeah.
I mean, what are you doing? That's weird.
Well, and my other draft take was Mel Kiper, and we were working at the time of the draft, so we weren't really listening to every Mel Kiper-ism, but I don't know if you guys have seen any of the clips, but Mel Kiper was losing his mind over this.
Yeah.
And so anyway, it's fascinating to see the takes on Mel's takes. But then also he got into it pretty good with Reese Davis, the host of the ESPN's draft show. And it got a little spicy.
What happened?
And back and
I didn't
forth.
see that. I didn't hear that.
Go look for
happened?
it. It was Reese Davis was pretty fired up with him. And anyway, and Mel was just going to the ends of the earth to defend Shedeur and the fact that he had put him in his top 5, in his top 2, I think.
Yeah.
On his big board. So pretty fascinating stuff. Seahawks draft class, you've already mentioned it, Eric, and Tyler's article too. Everybody's giving them good grades. We'll wait and see. I usually don't put a lot of stock in these things. So, but it is exciting to see their plan and what they've done and adding the athleticism and addressing needs. So hopefully the Seahawks, unlike your 2 teams, they had a lot more holes to fill. So hopefully they will be able to fill some of those. And then I was just going to mention my last hot take. All the Mariners do is win baseball series. That's all they're doing. They just win. They just go out and beat every team in front of them and get to 90 plus wins. And I think they've got a little locker room material up there from Eric Bierman's baseball bets.
Can I just say,
Yeah,
Bill couldn't make the game, but I went with Craig and my wife and daughter and Craig's wife, and the Mariners were up, I think, 10-0 after the first inning and ended up winning 14-0.
14-0,
So, we I think we're invited back to T-Mobile Park.
I know. I think Mackenzie, Eric's daughter, is our good luck charm, and she needs to move to Seattle and go to every single Mariners game.
She would be fine with that. She loved Seattle. She loved everything about this.
Is that a cool part?
Cool daughter.
Yeah.
Is that a cool part?
What you recommend?
Yeah, it was okay. It was okay. I would put it in the middle, probably, of parks. I'll be very curious to hear your guys' take on Great American in Cincinnati on Friday.
It was a fun park.
You like
I
Great
went last year
American?
with you.
Yeah, you went.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's a great park. I would love. Yeah, I mean, your comparison at some point too of the two. I will say this: I don't love sitting in the outfield, and that's where we were, and it was. I understand why. Like, tickets are expensive, and they were cheaper there, and that made a lot of sense. But I think that was part of it. It was kind of hot, like the sun was kind of beating right at us there.
Warm
so
day.
that wasn't great,
day.
and I just don't love sitting in the outfield. Like, it's just never my favorite. So that was part of it. But we walked around. The one thing I will say I didn't like about the stadium was the freaking lines for everything, to get a beer, to get popcorn, to get a hot dog, were massively long. Now, they moved fairly fast, but at the Red Stadium, you're walking. I mean, you'll get a beer in 2 seconds. I mean, you literally will just go find a vendor with a beer, or you want a hot dog, you might wait a minute. But it was that part I didn't love.
Yeah, that's totally fair criticism too. I think just the setting is unbelievable, but
yeah,
I love the old time feel. But yeah,
yes, the look and feel of the stadium was beautiful. It was cool, and I like
I
the
hope we don't
bars
get
around.
rained out.
I know.
For Cincinnati, man.
Well, the good news
No
is
roof on that bad boy.
There's lots of bars and restaurants nearby, so we'll have plenty to do.
And a sign museum.
Watching baseball. And a sign museum is not too far down the road, so there you go.
Well, how about you for your hot takes, Byron?
All right, guys. Well, I got to start with this one. So, some of our longtime listeners will recall one of our very early episodes on this pod months ago, where we did a top 5 on the best college helmets and uniforms. And Pat, let's just say, didn't necessarily come super prepared for that one. I think we did learn that he likes animals on helmets, though, something like that. So that was good. So it made me laugh. It made me laugh a little bit, guys, when I recently stumbled on a ranking by listwire.com of the 32 NFL helmets. They rated them all with a little bit of blurb on each from worst to first. So I thought I'd share some of the top, some of the bottom, some surprises, and I'm very excited to get Pat's reaction and analysis to these. So, all right, the bottom 5, number 32.
Wait, can we guess?
You can guess. Yeah. What do you think is the
Browns
number 1? Here we go. I'll give you a guess.
They won't say it though, because that's what I would have said too, Pat. But
classic.
The Browns will never get
classic
the last
helmet.
One. So classic. Yeah. So
the Seahawks.
It's not the Seahawks.
I would have put the Seahawks in the top 5. I mean,
Cardinals.
I surprise you guys.
Cardinals.
Giants. Nope. I will give you this. I will give you one little hint.
Dumb. Giants. Dumb.
I will give you one little hint. It's one that has changed recently in the last few years. They changed their helmet.
Rams.
Patriots.
The Washington Commanders.
Oh yeah. Okay.
They said that this stemmed from taking a great helmet, in their opinion, with the Redskin, and making it a dumb looking W. So that is theirs.
That's pretty fair.
Exactly. Yeah, I can't complain about that one. Number 31, the Houston Texans. They said similarly, the Oilers, when they were in Houston, had an all-time classic, and they just said this one can't come close. Number 30, the Baltimore Ravens. This made me laugh. They said the Raven should look a lot scarier, and the current version looks like it's, quote, waiting for you to drop your sandwich. And when you look at it, you kind of can see it. It does not look very scary. Number 29 is, I think maybe one of you guys said this, Tennessee Titans. They didn't have a lot of analysis here. They just said it's an awful logo. That's literally what they said. And then 28, so 5th worst, Jacksonville Jaguars. They did say that one they believe has potential, but it looks too 90-ish for them, which the teal tongue kind of does.
Mm-hmm.
All right, here we go. Top 5 now. Let's go to top 5. They have, and I'm going to give you a chance to vote to guess a number 1 when we get to number 1.
Okay.
But number 5, Indianapolis Colts. They said the horseshoe is classic, hasn't been changed for years, and it was good enough for Johnny U. So there you go. So that is the one in the top 5 I disagree with. I would not put that 5.
No way.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
mid.
I agree. So mid. Number 4, Buffalo Bills. I do like this one, and the white is much better than that they have now than the blue. Do you guys remember the blue ones in the 80s and 90s? With Jim Kelly.
Jim Kelly era, yeah.
Yeah. Number 3, I hate this team, but I have to admit, Pittsburgh Steelers, it's timeless, it's classic. I like that it's just on one side, and I don't know. So I gotta say that. I don't like the colors. I don't like the black and gold, but whatever. All right, number 2, my Cincinnati Bengals.
Nice.
They said the stripes did it for them, and I kind of agree. I do think it's a cool helmet. All right, number 1.
Dallas Cowboys.
Don't say Cleveland Browns.
Dallas Cowboys.
Whatever you do.
Dallas Cowboys is exactly the team I would have guessed, but it is not.
I would
have
guessed.
Is it the Packers? I bet it's the Packers. Or the Bears.
That's a good guess. No.
The Bears.
No.
The C. Not Vikings.
Those are all great guesses, but I think when you hear this,
Toronto Argonauts.
All right, I'm going to just tell you guys.
Yeah, hit us.
They just win the helmet rankings, baby. The Vegas Raiders. The Vegas Raiders.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Good call.
Honestly, I think the rankings were pretty good. I really can't disagree with the bottom 5 or the top 5. I'm not sure about the Colts at 5. That one I don't like, but the rest of them are not great. But your boys, guys, your teams, they did make the top 10. The Vikes come in at number 10, and they say the horns were always cool, but they really like the matte look that started about 10, 12 years ago. So Vikes, number 10, and Seahawks, number 9. They said, quote, the totem-style logo is fierce, local, and just overall awesome looking. So there you go.
And I like the
not
older
top
one
5,
better,
but top 10. Yeah, I kind of do too.
The OG
I'm a
version,
big old school guy. So I know we're not meant to talk about all of these logos and stuff, but I will say my favorite helmet logo of all time is the old New England Patriot one with
where
the
he's
guy
hiking it
where he's hiking the ball. I love
the hat.
Yeah,
it's great.
I love that logo. It's my all-time favorite helmet.
Tony Eason.
Yeah,
I think
exactly.
It's like
Real quick,
Steve Grogan.
Before we move on this, a couple Steve Grogan.
Yeah.
A couple quick surprises. I was really surprised to see this team in the bottom 10. This team was number 23, and it's the one you said, Pat. The Dallas Cowboys were ranked number 23. I mean, come on, say what you will about the franchise, but the star, the colors, I mean, it's a freaking cool helmet. So I got to say that. And then this one, I have no idea. You guys have both mentioned this one. I have no idea what the fuck they were thinking here. But they put the Browns at number 8. Yeah, great helmet. Let's paint it orange and call it a day. Masterpiece. What a freaking stupid ranking. Come on.
Yeah.
But the rest of it I agree with. So.
Well, you're the helmet expert. I mean.
Yeah, exactly. Right. I mean, All right, real quick. Last one, guys. The run for the roses, the fastest 2 minutes in sports. Churchill Downs, the mint juleps, the fedoras, Secretariat, Seattle Slew, Citation, American Pharoah. All the history and pageantry. I freaking love the Kentucky Derby, and I just want to give it a little love here. I've only been once. It was back in my 20s, and yeah, we were in the infield. I probably saw more boobs than horses that day, but it was still an absolutely incredible experience. Just the energy, the tradition. It's truly one of the most unique live sporting events I've been to. If you're an American sports fan and have never been, put it on your bucket list. Make a trip to Louisville one of these years. Haven't been in years. Want to get back. Next time I want to do the full grandstand experience. I want the blazer, the bourbon, the hobnobbing with people who actually have money. As I was prepping for this weekend's Nailed It festivities, guys, I got all excited when I realized the Derby was this weekend. And, I live only 2.5 hours from Churchill. Thought it would have been a fitting way for us to spend some time together. But then I looked at prices and and I texted you guys at the time. Cheapest grandstand tickets I could find were $650.
Oh,
So yeah, that was just not going to work. But honestly, with Sandman being a horse and one
so
of the
crazy.
favorites, I don't know. Maybe we should rethink this, boys. Maybe the horse racing.
It's gonna be fun at your club.
Yeah, dude, it is gonna be fun. It is gonna be fun. So. But yeah, it's gonna be a great time. One of these days, I do want to get back to Churchill though, and I urge anyone who's never been to plan the same. The first mint julep is on me. All right, guys. Well, let's move on and get into our Stone Cold Lock segment. This week, we are heading to the Byron Nelson Classic in Dallas. Before we get into our picks, gotta give myself a little pat on the back here. Just when I thought I was off with this golf picking thing, they pull me back in. Oh my gosh. I notched a win and 3 points with my Novak and Griffin pick, and I got another one with my dark horse, the wonderfully alliterative Luke List, and his partner, Henrik Norlander, who finished tied for 4th. Yeah, great. So I was
you
close
pick up
too.
6? Did you pick up 6
No,
points?
I picked up 4
points.
So I got 3 plus the
nice
3
week,
for winning,
man.
and 1 for making top 10.
I thought if your dark horse makes the top 10, you get 3.
Yeah, we didn't. Did we ever say that? We should.
That
actually makes sense.
I thought we did. I think you got 6 points there, buddy.
I think you get 6.
That actually makes sense.
I think that's right. Yeah.
All right. Well, then you're not going to believe what just happened. I just vaulted.
You took the lead. Yeah, sure.
I just took the lead.
Just
took the lead. I mean, so I'm now. Wow, Pat, you had your first clunker week in more than a month. It's the first time in a month you've not had at least 1 point. So
I didn't feel it going in. It's hard to make the points. Yeah.
You and I came close with Shane and Rory, right. But they finished 12th. So. Yeah,
I told you. I said 11th. I said tie 11th. They're going to come tie 11th.
You did call that. We almost should give Pat a point for his call and Rory.
So I am now in first with 8 points. Pat has 7. Wow, that was a great week. And then Bill, you got 4. You're still, man, you're in it. You're
rough.
In it. But
all right, I just need to grab the winner here.
Yeah. All right. So same as always, 2 players. Any players you want to pick. Third one, dark horse plus 10,000 odds or worse. All right. What do you got for us, Pat?
I got Sam Burns is my first one. Yeah, Sam Burns. I feel like he's due, and the field is not deep, and I feel like he has done well in Texas on the Texas swing before. So give me Sam Burns, and then Tom Kim is my other one.
Ooh, okay, yeah.
He's a big Scotty Scheffler fan. He's a big buddies with Scotty Scheffler, so I think he's going to want to impress his friend Scotty this week. So Tom Kim is my number 2, and my long shot, not to be confused with Denny McCarthy, Matt McCarty.
Yeah,
Matt
nice.
McCarty,
lefty.
plus 10. Yeah.
Alliterative.
Yeah, that could be it.
Chalk him up, baby.
Key.
Yeah.
Nice.
Matt McCarty
I like that
and
McCarty
Luke
pick.
List. Yep.
Yeah. Nice.
Those are my 3. No real research there. This is all feel.
Good for you though. You're avoiding Scheffler.
I will always avoid Scheffler unless it's a deep field. Like if it's a major or something like that. I can't. It's too obvious.
I need the points.
Yeah, you gotta take Scotty. You better take Scotty.
I got Scotty. I mean, you guys have said it. It's like this field is crazy how top heavy it is. You've got Scotty. I saw him at plus 280 to win, and that is crazy odds.
That's crazy.
To win. And then the next closest player is Jordan Spieth.
Spieth,
yes.
18. Yeah, and Spieth hasn't won. Spieth could find a way to lose in any field.
Yeah, well, and that's. I mean, you mentioned it where I'm actually fading Spieth this week. That's my pick to fade. So check out the Crush and Fade article. Although I suck at picking golf and have 4 points, but I have been doing better in my Crush and Fade. So maybe I should just stick with what I write in the Crush and Fade. But Taylor Pendrith is my other guy. He's at plus 3,000. He's the defending champ. He's a long ball hitter. Every year at this tournament comes down to putting because you can spray it off the tee. you got long irons coming in, so the longer hitters have an advantage because they get to hit wedges in, or at least 9 pitching wedges, etc. Pendrith can bomb it. So give me him as my other top 10, and then I got my long shot is Nico Echeverria, and I just love this kid. I've seen him in podcasts. I feel like I've been picking him a lot. I just like his personality. He's won twice on tour. He's plus 15,000. I feel like he's regaining form after a little bit of he had a great start to the year, and then he's had a little bit of rough patch. He's starting to play better. So those are my 3 picks.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I thought about being so chalky this week and taking Scotty because, come on, it's such a light field of both of what you both have said. He's going to win at some point on the tour this year. This just feels like the spot to me. There's no way he doesn't finish top 10. But with that said, I'm not going to take him either. I got 2 different guys. And this one's funny because you mentioned it. You faded him, Bill. And I typically do not pick Jordan Spieth just because I just don't trust him. I like him. I just can't trust him. But I call it a feeling for this week. He hasn't done particularly well this year on the tour, but he did finish 9th here on this course in 2021. He finished 2nd here 3 years ago. So the guy likes the course, and I could see him bringing it. He is the second favorite, too, from an odds standpoint. So I'm going to go. So I'm going to go with him, and then I'm going to go with do a little too bad here. Going with Sam Burns for my second pick. This is a guy I've always liked. I've always liked Sam Burns. He's had his moments, but he can just also be wildly inconsistent, like Spieth. I usually can't trust him, but he finished 2nd here back in 2021, and I just like him this week. So he's at plus 3,000 to win, plus 550 top 5, plus 275 top 10. And then my long shot, I'm going with Hayden Springer, who's plus 11,000. He hasn't had what I'd call a great year, but he's had decent stats. He's had 1 top 10 finish. He and his partner Nick Lashley had a nice performance last week at the Zurich, finishing tied for 18th. He's only made half of his cuts, so he's very inconsistent as well. But he did shoot a 59 in last year's John Deere Classic, becoming only the 14th player ever to notch that score. So, you got that going for him. So that's what I'm going with. I thought about Max McGreevy to keep the alliterative luck going, but we'll stick with Hayden.
Nice. We'll give you a half point if you get McGreevy.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Thanks. Yeah. I don't think we have to worry about that. those dark horses are so hard to hit. I got so lucky. I got so lucky last week. They're hard, but I wish I had put real money on them to make top 10.
Probably had good odds on those guys.
Yeah. All right, boys. Well, let's get into this week's top 5 with the NFL draft just wrapping up. It got me thinking about rookies. New wave of young guys trying to make their mark. Some of these guys are just hoping to make a roster, maybe have a little bit of an impact next year. But every now and then, you get a rookie who doesn't just make the team, they absolutely crush it in amazing fashion in year 1. So this week, we are dedicating our top 5 to the greatest rookie seasons of all time, across any sport.
Thank God.
We're talking about seasons so good, they would have been impressive even if a veteran did it, let alone a rookie. Doesn't matter if the player went on to become a Hall of Famer or if they fizzled out after one great year. We're focused purely on what they did in that rookie season. So, Bill, Pat, you guys ready? Let's dive into it.
I think
ready?
So.
Pat, what do you got?
My number 5 is going to be C.J. Stroud. I thought 2 years ago he had a phenomenal rookie year.
That is not a bad call.
And he put up. I kind of stayed a little bit more recent. I think my oldest one I had was back in the 90s. So just to give you an idea, I tried to stay somewhat within the last 30 years. But give me C.J. Stroud at number 5. Rarely do you see a quarterback come out of the draft and jump into just a phenomenal rookie season. Usually they got to bring them along, or they got to sit behind somebody and watch, like the Aaron Rodgers or Tom Brady was behind Bledsoe, and C.J. Stroud just jumped in and had a phenomenal year. So I thought his rookie year just was quite impressive. My second one is a kid by the name of Aaron Judge in 2017.
He was an honorable. That guy was
52
incredible.
dingers. 52 dingers your rookie year. I mean, just watching him swing the bat, it's like a toothpick in his hand. He's a massive dude. And to put up 52 home runs in your rookie year is an impressive feat. I think he had like 120 some walks as well. So pitchers were afraid to. He was just always on base. Pitchers were afraid to pitch to him, and when they did, he'd send it for a ride. So my number 4 was Aaron Judge.
Yeah, that's a great one.
Wow. Yeah, good ones. I don't have either of those guys on my list. My 5 and 4, I did it in a little 2-pack because they're both 1981. So my first one is and I have, I guess, a little bit older maybe than some of Pat's more recent guys. So that's cool.
Taylor?
I went with Fernando.
Fernando Valenzuela.
Yeah.
1981, Rookie of the Year.
Fernando
Cy
Mania.
Young,
Dude,
Fernando Mania.
Yeah.
First 8 starts, 8 complete games, 5 shutouts. I mean, just insane, right? Fernando Mania.
That is such a worthy pick. Absolutely.
Man, just crazy. I mean, looking back at his stats that year, and it was a shortened year. It must have been a strike or something.
I mean, do you remember him as a kid, Bill? Like, you remember?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Fernando? I do. Pat, do you? You're a couple years younger, I think, than us.
Yeah,
do you remember
I started watching baseball around 83, 84.
Okay.
Didn't you guys, when you're playing catch with your boys, like growing up and everything, do that?
Absolutely.
Look to the sky and deliver it, you know? And I mean, the guy just was like such a cool story.
That was cool.
So that was my number 5. My number 4 is LT, Lawrence Taylor, 1981, New York Giants, 9.5 sacks, 1 pick, which I thought was kind of funny. Led the Giants to number 3 in scoring defense. They made the playoffs for the first time in 18 seasons, which I didn't realize that they'd had such a long drought, but that was cool. First player, I believe only player, to win Rookie of the Year and Defensive Player of the Year. And, you know, he was the change that every offense had to scheme and game plan for these crazy, insanely good edge rushers. So LT really just changed the game completely. And in many cases, I think people regard him to be the best defensive player in the history of the NFL. So anyway, that was my 5 and 4. 1981, 2-pack.
Yeah, no, that's a great one.
Thanks.
81, great year. All right, so before I get into mine, I have to just share one honorable that I find so interesting. He would never make a top 5. It's not so much his rookie season per se, but just got to share the story. So in 1980, I was living in a suburb of Cleveland, Ohio. I was around 7 or 8, okay? And I remember the Indians, and there was a superstar rookie who ended up being Rookie of the Year that year. You guys have never heard of him, I guarantee it. His name was Joe Charbonneau. They called him Super Joe Charbonneau. Super Joe Charbonneau. There was a freaking local song that hit like top of the charts in the local Cleveland market. He hit for 289 batting average that year, 23 home runs, 87 RBI. Pretty good, but, you know, certainly not worthy of this top 5. But, I mean, he won American League Rookie of the Year that year. He was a big deal. But what I find so interesting about him is he won Rookie of the Year, and within 2 years, he was out of baseball. Literally never played
What year was
again.
this, Eric?
This was in 1980.
Okay.
Wow.
Never played again. Now, some of this was due to some injuries. He sustained the following year in spring training in 81, he had a head first slide that he hurt his back, never truly healed. But just such a rapid fall from grace for someone who won this major award. He holds a record for the fewest career games played in the major leagues by a Rookie of the Year. He only played 201 games.
Wow.
I mean, it's just so weird. Yeah, it's so weird. So I just had to throw that one up there. But let me get to my actual selections here. So for my number 5, I'm going with a baseball player who accomplished a feat only 2 people in the history of baseball have accomplished. And I have a sneaky feeling the other guy who did it is going to show up on one of your guys' list a little later. So I'm going to go with this guy instead. I'm going with Fred Lynn, Boston Red Sox outfielder, who in 1975 won the American League Rookie of the Year and the American League MVP award. I mean, that's incredible that he won both of those. He was the first to do that, and only one other player ever has done it since, and I know we'll hear his name later. He hit for a .331 average, 21 homers, 105 RBI. He also led the American League in runs, doubles, slugging percentage, and on base percentage. Oh, he also won a Gold Glove, and he led the Red Sox to the World Series that year, where they lost in one of the most epic series ever, the Big Red Machine, but that's another story. So yeah, one of the all-time best rookie seasons ever, Mr. Fred Land. And then number 4, I'm switching to basketball. By the way, all mine are older. Like none of mine are recent ones like you have, Pat. I'm heading back to 1960-61, where we saw one of the all-time dominant rookie seasons ever. I'm talking about the Big O, Oscar Robertson. In Robertson, his rookie season, guys, he averaged 30.5 points per game, 10.1 rebounds, and 9.7 assists. That is a triple-double.
No
As a
three-point
rookie.
line.
As a rookie. No three-point line. So needless to say, he won the NBA Rookie of the Year, was named first team All-NBA, and for good measure was named the All-Star Game MVP that year, when actually that mattered a little bit back then. Beyond his stats, he's similar to what you were saying with LT, he also helped change the game a little bit. Before him, the league viewed point guard simply as just dish it out, get the assists, get it to scorers. They certainly didn't look as scorers themselves, but he changed that perception. So yeah, Big O, one of the best ever to do it, and even as a rookie. So he's my number 4. All right, what do you got number 3, Pat?
My number 3 is Teemu Selanne. In hockey, where it's very, if someone scores 50 goals in a hockey season, that's kind of a big deal. His rookie year, he put up 76 goals. The Finnish Flash, his nickname. He was, his rookie season was an all-time rookie season in the NHL. So he was my number 3, and my number 2 is Shohei Ohtani. I mean, just thinking about, growing up, you hear about Babe Ruth, how he was a pitcher and a batter, and you're like, oh, that'll never happen again in today's game. And then to have Shohei come along and be good at both it's pretty cool thing to see. So I don't know if he had necessarily an amazing rookie campaign, but just the fact that someone is actually relevant and both pitching and hitting is pretty cool. So that's why I put him at number 2. So
love that. I just realized too, looking at my number 3, I'm gonna skip my number 3 because I think he might get mentioned later on down the line. So maybe I'll come back to that. I don't want to be a spoiler. But I'll go to my number 2, and that is Irvin Magic Johnson from the 79-80 season. His stats weren't crazy like the Big O or anything, but the one thing that I thought was really nuts about Magic was 18 points per game, 7.7 rebounds, 7.3 assists per game, but they won the NBA championship. He was the finals MVP, and I believe he's still the only rookie to ever do that. All-Star too, not as big of a deal. But I just thought the fact that, they won a huge series his rookie year, just incredible rookie season. Obviously the guy had an unbelievable career as well and was just a Sonics soul crusher for so much of that career. So the number 3 that I'm going to replace, and I'm going to come back to if one of you guys does not mention my other guy, because when Pat did his initials, I thought of Jaden Daniels, who we all just raved about.
Totally.
This whole season, right? I mean, what an incredible rookie
season. I almost
season.
Put him on my list. Yep.
Yeah, and so I didn't pull any of his stats or anything, but he just slipped through the radar. I didn't think of him, and so instead of my original number 3, I'm gonna throw Jaden Daniels.
Yeah, I looked at him because
and his terrible helmet.
Another guy I thought about, and I think it's safe to say none of you put this guy at number 1, so I can say it. Another guy I thought about was Cam Newton, who, by the way, had 15 passing touchdowns, I think, and 14 rushing touchdowns at the time.
Beast.
But Jaden had 25 passing touchdowns and 6 rushing, and not many interceptions. I think only like 9 interceptions, something like that. So I did look a little bit at his stats. He very worthy.
Changed the culture.
The guy was incredible.
Commanders.
He did. And he took him to the. Yeah, he took him far in the playoffs. So then NFC Championship game, right? Yeah.
So. Yeah. Lost to Philly.
So my number 3 and 2 are ones you both have already said. So number 3, I'm not the biggest hockey guy, and I definitely don't follow it like I do all the other major sports, but Timo Solani, I mean, guys, most people don't realize how special his rookie season was back in 1993 for Winnipeg.
He won I was going to wear my Teemu Solani jersey, but I just came straight from work, so you get my yellow vest, but I have the jersey upstairs. I'll have to wear it.
And I will say one of my criteria that I use myself as I go through this is they had to win Rookie of the Year. If they didn't win Rookie of the Year, they're not eligible for this. So he did win in hockey. It's called the Calder Trophy, but he won that. He was named an All-Star. But Pat alluded to some of this. He set NHL rookie records for goals and points, and both records still stand today.
Wow. Yeah.
He had 76 goals, and the rookie goal record before that was 53. Pat kind of alluded to that. The previous rookie point record was 109, and he netted 132.
Wow.
He led the entire NHL in goals that season. The entire NHL. He led the league. Had 11 multi-score games and 3 hat-trick games. I mean, for a rookie, that was incredible. So, and then number 2, Bill, you mentioned all of the relevant stats here. LT, I mean, he's one of the greatest, fiercest defensive players ever. Started his career with a huge bang back in the 1981 season. You mentioned the sacks. I didn't know about the interception. That's kind of neat. You mentioned that he anchored a defense that went from one of the worst to one of the best. Defensive player of the year, in addition to being rookie of the year. I mean, but the thing that you mentioned that I love the most is he changed the way teams had to scheme and had to play. I mean, he changed the game, literally. They had never seen a combination of speed, power, and strength like this before. So, that's my number 2. All right. Number ones. I'm pretty sure I can predict both of your guys' number ones. I swear to God, I'm telling you right now, if I do not get your number 1 correctly, I will buy you dinner. I will buy your dinner on Friday night before the Reds game.
Pat, you might want to mix it up.
All right. No, you're not going to lie to me.
You know it. I'm not going to lie to you. You know it.
It's Randy Moss.
You know it's Randy Moss. And that 98 season was the best. Just to see him, again, kind of like what you were saying, change the game a little bit. He was like Mike Evans. Before Mike Evans, he was, that long, lanky. He's got length and he's got speed and incredible catch radius, incredible hands. That 98 season was something else to watch him. So
it was.
You guessed
one
it.
of the best.
Can I guess Bills then? Can I guess Bills?
Yeah, you'll guess it.
Ichiro?
Yeah.
Ichiro.
Yeah.
Good call. And not to
you guys are so fucking predictable.
I know, totally. The not to bring up a bad part of Randy's rookie season, but was that the year that they missed the field goal in the NFC Championship game to get to the Super Bowl?
Gary freaking Anderson. Or what? No.
Morton.
Morton. No, it was Gary.
Gary.
Morton
Anderson was Falcons, right?
Yeah.
It was Gary Anderson. Yeah.
Man, and it's funny because I always think of Dante Culpepper, but
no,
Randall Cunningham was just winging it all over. Just winging it all over the yard. Anyway, Randy, what a cool. Hopefully he's okay. I haven't heard anything about his health lately. Because I know
that's probably a good thing. That's probably a good thing.
Yeah, hopefully. Hopefully. Yeah, hopefully he's doing okay. I love him on game day. So he does a great job. What an incredible season he had. Yeah. I'm glad I didn't say my number 3, which was Randy Moss. Thank you. And then I have Ichiro. This is a little bit
because when you say that, I was looking at last night and I was like, ooh, Ichiro, and I was like, no, Bill's gonna say Ichiro. So
that's
why I kept him out.
And the other thing I thought, I don't know if it 100% quality. I mean, he was 27 years old in his rookie season in the major leagues. He played 9 seasons in Japan, which is that I had not remembered that he had. I mean, but what's crazy is, people were arguing that he should be the professional baseball hits leader, right? Because for a long time, if you add up his Japanese hits and his American hits, anyway, I didn't agree with that because Pete Rose did it all in the United States. But anyway, yeah. In 2001, what a season! Led the AL in batting, 350, 242 hits, 56 steals. And Eric mentioned it, but Freddie Lynn was the first ever to do it, and Ichiro was the second. And that was win Rookie of the Year and MVP in the same season. He added a Silver Slugger, a Gold Glove, and led the M's to 116 wins. Just an incredible season that, unfortunately, because we're Seattle, we couldn't cap off with a World Series. But Ichiro is my number one.
Were they playing? Was the new stadium by then, or were they still playing the Kingdom? It was new stadium.
The new stadium was in 1999. Yeah.
Okay.
And what was his rookie year? What year was his?
2001.
Yeah.
2001. Okay.
Yeah. What an amazing talent. I mean,
absolutely,
super cool.
It was between. The only reason I put Freddie Lynn at 5 was because I knew you were going to put Ichiro. But they both had incredible stats.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I remember watching Freddie Lynn.
Oh yeah, I love Freddie Lynn. I love Jim Rice.
Yeah.
I love
Jim Rice. Remember him breaking bats over his leg?
Yeah.
We saw that in the Kingdom. My dad and I. Crazy. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah. So who do you got for your number one there?
Guys, my number one was so freaking easy. There's really not a debate on this one. I respect Randy. I respect Ichiro. Respect both of you guys. No, this guy won Rookie of the Year, NBA MVP, All-Star Game MVP. Nobody has ever achieved all three of those in the same season before or after. And he led the league in scoring and rebounding with, wait for these numbers, guys, 37.6 points per game.
Oh, I know
and
this.
27 rebounds per game.
And a few women.
I'm talking about none other than Wilt Chamberlain. His rookie season back in 59-60 for the Philadelphia Warriors. Also, I find this stat interesting. He averaged 48.5 minutes per game in the playoffs. Regulation was 48 minutes, just like today. So, yeah, there must have been some overtime games, but this just shows the guy never came out of games. So he also had great stamina, great endurance, didn't foul out. Yeah, I mean, and the thing, we've talked about this with some other players, he literally required the league to make rule and court changes because of how dominant he was. They widened the lane because of him. Offensive goaltending became a thing. They put in inbound restrictions. So, I mean, he just changed the game. And now this is unofficial, and we have experts working on this, but we also believe he slept with 787 women as a rookie as well. So, just a really good rookie season all around.
That's a couple per day.
That's the quadruple crown.
That's what he wrote a book about. So, that's right up there. But, yeah.
Incredible.
Anyway, that was good. I mean, this one, like so many of our top fives, there's so many good ones that are left out. And,
yes.
It was good. We didn't have too many duplicates there, but a lot of good ones. Another one that I thought was I'm actually surprised neither of you said Tiger Woods. Just because I mean it is first,
golf didn't cross my mind.
I was surprised, but a tennis one. If I were to throw a tennis one at you, Pat, are there any that jump out at you? This one was kind of impressive.
Is it? Can you is it the new era?
It was Sampras?
No, it was.
Yeah, I was going to say Sampras.
Sampras,
I guess.
It was in the 80s, and it was a 17-year-old.
The
80s,
and it's a guy.
Female is it's a guy.
It's a guy. Yeah. German. That'll give it.
Is it Edberg?
Oh my
Michael
God!
Stieck. Michael Stieck.
Isn't he Swedish? Isn't Edberg Swedish?
Michael? Yeah.
Boris Becker.
Boris Becker.
Boy, what a fall from grace.
In 1985, he was 17. He was unseeded. He had never played Wimbledon before, and he goes on to freaking win Wimbledon. So I thought that was kind of a neat thing, but but there's so many other great rookie seasons. So. All right,
that was a fun category.
Yeah, that was a fun one. Hopefully some of the ones that were just drafted by our respective NFL teams we'll make that list a few years down the road. All right, Bill, before we get into the closing, what do you got on the pools front for our listeners today?
Yeah, guys, we got a couple fun golf ones I'm hoping that you'll enjoy. The PGA season Calcutta is one of our biggest of the year. And I thought of it would be fun to do the second half of the year. So we're calling it the back nine Calcutta. And basically, it's the same exact format. It's just squeezed into 15 events. So each event's got a little bit higher payout. And I think this one's going to be really fun. And then just keep on your radar. We got the PGA Championship from Quail Hollow coming up in a couple weeks. We've got the Byron Nelson this week. We've got the Truist next week in Philadelphia. And then we got the PGA Championship. So we're going to have all the usuals for PGA Championship. So just keep an eye out for that. Calcutta, Survivor, all the favorites for every major. So
there's only 15 left. Does that include the year-end FedEx?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then you got to squeeze in 3 majors. There's still 3 majors to go, right?
Yeah. Yeah, they kind of come rapid fire like every month, right?
Yeah.
PGA Championship, US Open, Father's Day, and then the Open Championship in July. So yeah, and then right after the Open Championship, you get right into the FedEx.
And then you start to think about football.
Well, and I was even going to say, yeah, football, of course, for sure, but then also the Ryder Cup. I mean,
gosh, you're right.
His home in New York. It's just going to be freaking awesome. So can't wait for that already. Yeah, thanks, Bierman.
Yeah.
Keep an eye out for them.
Man. Great stuff. All right, CMA Nation. Well, it's been another terrific show. But it is time to go scrub down Pat's room for this weekend. So sadly, it is time to exit CME Sports. Real quickly, before we do, just a few reminders of where to find us. Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, all at Enter CME Sports. And our great website, entercmesports.com. Please like us, subscribe to us, spread the word. Have a great weekend, CMA Nation. I know we will. Can't wait to share out in next week's episode all, or at least most, of the details. But until then, peace out. Take care. See ya.
See you guys in Cincy.